I'm a big fan of women's sports and what they do at the highest level. So for me, I've always been a golf fan, and then getting to see them do it up close, it makes it even that much more real and special, just how they go about their business, even when I'm just playing 9 holes with them. So it's pretty fun and pretty cool, and I know people would love it if they took the time to even turn it on or even come out here and watch.
If Caitlin would start her own league with you, I'd give her $100 million, and I have as many billionaires as you needed to start a league.
And if you think this is just a cute off-season hobby, you're about to miss what's actually happening, because in 2026, golf could quietly become the place where Caitlin gains leverage without ever saying a word about leverage. So stay with me, because at the end, I'm going to give you the one signal to watch for in 2026 that tells you whether Caitlin is about to become golf's biggest ratings weapon. And it's not, is she good enough? It's something far more obvious and far more powerful. Let's start with the part that's real, scheduled, and sitting there like a trapdoor. The LPGA already has a date on the calendar. The Annika, driven by Gainbridge at Pelican, is set for November 12th to 15th, 2026 in Bel Air, Florida. That matters because Caitlin isn't just randomly connected to this event. She's a Gainbridge ambassador.
The young girls that are at our games screaming and having the time of their lives, a lot of them, when you go up to them, just start crying, or it's it's cute. But also, I was just in their shoes, however many years ago. I was begging my dad or my mom to take me to whatever sporting event it was, and I was screaming, and I wanted to meet the players, whether they were on the high school team or whether they were pros or in college, because it was so impactful. Like, I loved I wanted to be who they were. I think everybody talks about like the effect that we have on them, but also they have the same effect on us, and I think that's what's really cool about it.
And in 2025, the tournament announced she would be in the Wednesday Pro-Am. So when people say maybe she pops up again, that's not a fantasy, that's a pattern. And patterns in sports don't just happen, they get planned. Now here's where the fear part starts. If Caitlin becomes a predictable annual golf appearance, especially at a sponsor-linked LPGA event, then her off-season stops being a quiet reset. It becomes a second media season, a second attention cycle, a second wave of headlines that the WNBA doesn't control. And you know what that means in modern sports? Leverage. Not the loud kind where you demand things. The quiet kind where brands, networks, and events line up because your name moves the needle. And we've already seen the blueprint on the PGA Tour side too. In November 2024, the PGA Tour posted coverage that Caitlin Clark and Tom Brady played in the RSM Classic Pro-Am at Sea Island. That matters for one reason. She's already been approved in that world. Not by opinions, by results. They saw the crowd interest. They saw the media pop. They saw the cameras follow.
Yes, I can report that everyone was safe. No one was almost hit this week like last week. And it really was just a continuation of what we saw last week at the Annika. It's what happens when you have a transformative athlete like Caitlin come out to another sport. She crosses over to a new sport and she brings that stardom and those fans over. But many of the fans who were walking with her today aren't necessarily golf fans. They're either Caitlin fans or WNBA fans, and it's kind of their first exposure to the game. So a lot like last week, it was a really good step for golf and obviously for Caitlin and her fans.
So don't treat 2026 like it starts from scratch, and it doesn't. It starts from momentum. Now let's get to the 2026 storyline that could go nuclear. Because the LPGA lane is one thing, but the creator golf lane is where the internet goes feral. Golf.com reported in November 2025 that Dave Portnoy wants to land Caitlin Clark for the Internet Invitational in 2026, and the report frames it as a serious target, something he's actively pursuing.
You said you'd partner with her and give her $100 million. That's the biggest offer that she's gotten.
If she would have let me be her agent, I would have in a second. And if she's like, I'll start a new league with you, I would get her whatever you want. I don't think she'll ever do that. Like, I talk with her never about that stuff. She has State Farm, Nike, Gatorade. Those are like blue bloods. Ryan's a Tom Brady in a way. Like, very rarely, if ever, publicly says anything that like should cause any waves. She's kind of like been a good trooper for the Fever and the league.
And this is where people misunderstand what's at stake. This isn't Caitlin tries golf. This is Caitlin becomes the centerpiece of viral golf content. Because creator golf doesn't behave like traditional golf media. It's engineered for clips, engineered for drama, engineered for moments. which means if she shows up, it's not one headline, it's weeks of headlines. It's reaction videos, it's podcast debates, it's did you see this shot and content. It's golf audiences colliding with WNBA audiences. And if you're the WNBA, you should be nervous. Not because she's leaving, but because she's proving, again, that she can dominate attention without you. Now, I'm going to say something that will make some people mad. In 2026, Caitlyn doesn't even need to be great at golf to win the golf storyline. She just needs to be present. Because her presence is the product. Her presence is the ratings. Her presence is the ticket demand. That's the uncomfortable truth. And that's why these small golf appearances suddenly start feeling bigger than they should. Because they aren't small, they're positioning. Now let's bring it back to the 2026 calendar. That Annika date, November 12th to 15th, sits right in that late year window where sports media gets hungry. Football's raging, NBA is starting, the WNBA season is done, and suddenly, there's a vacuum for a clean, high-interest story. And if Caitlyn is attached to it, she becomes the story. Again. So here's the real speculation that matters. Not, will she play golf? But who is building the rollout? Because this is what the smart people are watching. Do we get an early announcement push? Do we see sponsor content start early? Do we see ticket pages and promotional material quietly hinting at her appearance before it's official? Because in 2025, the tournament itself made a clear announcement about her Pro-Am return. That's not random, that's coordinated. So if 2026 follows that same pattern, it tells you something. It tells you they want Caitlyn as a headline driver again. Now let's hit the promise I made at the start. Here is the one signal to watch in 2026. The payoff. If Caitlyn is playing a major golf appearance in 2026, you'll see one of these two things happen first. One, an official Annika, LPGA, or tournament side mention tied to the Pro-Am. No vague chatter, no social hints, but a real tournament-linked update that aligns with ticketing and promotion. Or two, a Portnoy-style confirmation that drops like a bomb for Internet Invitational 2026, because creator golf announcements are made for maximum attention, and Golf.com has already framed Caitlyn as a top target for 2026. And here's how you use that signal like a cheat code. If the Annika side starts hinting early, it means the 2026 story is going to be Caitlyn as the face of women's sports crossover, clean, sponsor-driven, mainstream. But if the creator side confirms first, it means the 2026 story is going to be Caitlyn as the internet's most watchable athlete. Chaotic, viral, unavoidable. Either way, the scary part for everyone else is the same. Caitlyn doesn't need the WNBA calendar to stay relevant. She can manufacture her own season. And 2026 is the year you might watch that happen in real time. If you're still watching, drop CCGOLF2026 in the comments.